Hello, good morning. Welcome to Mimosas in the Morning. My name is Josh Greenwood, and this is our show. So I'm going to give it a couple minutes, have some people join in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And get my computer set up here so we can get going. Give me 30 seconds while we're waiting for this to reload. I'm going to give us a nice big Mimosa Mama cheer. Welcome. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day to all the single fathers out there. Happy Mother's Day to the grandmothers, to the dog mothers, to all the people. Oh, every week it's the best. Drinking out of the dog cup this week. This is fun. Big old mimosa. What's up, Alex? See Ben, maybe Sean. We'll both be on there. All right. Let's see if the comment page is ready to go. Nope. Alrighty. Alright, so this week on our show, we're going to give a little bit of time to kind of let people gather and come on in as we're going in. We have Alex Lamb is going to be our guest this week. He's a good friend of mine. He is a yoga teacher and very sweet soul, great singer, amazing person. And he's going to be joining us today when we're talking about all things health and fitness related. We're going to talk about fitness in New York, the fitness industry, yoga, all of the above, who you should watch, who you shouldn't watch, everything that's going on in here. Just trying to get my comment page up and loading. There's always a time delay on this. Nope, still not ready. Let me just exit out the whole thing. Alrighty, so we're going to get into it. We're just going to go straight away into our first little subject as we're going in today for the week. Pull this up. Alright. So we're talking about Game of the Week. Game of the Week is what we're going to talk about first. So my friend Elise, at NYC Elise, if you get on there, she's over having brunch with her family for Mother's Day, which I would assume a lot of people are for this Mother's Day episode that we're having. And Scattergories is a game that Maddie and I always play. We have the card game for Scattergories, and we play it two-player. One pulls a letter, one pulls a word. But she introduced us to there's a website. I'll put the website up after the video goes in, but it's a random automatic generator for rounds, for letter, and for stuff for Scattergories. Really fun to play online. You can play with a group of friends on Zoom. If you're not familiar with Scattergories, basically get a pen and a paper. You're going to have 10 to 12 rounds. A letter's going to pop up, and you're going to have to come up with all the answers with that same letter. Has to be the first letter of it. Really fun game. Really nice, exciting to play. And that will be posted up here as soon as this updates. Let me get me up here. Alrighty, let's let a few more people trickle in. Let's get some waves off here. Hello, hello, hello. Alrighty. Alright, let this move on. Let's get the volume down. Cool. So that's our game of the week. Game of the week is here. Hey. My wife is in, Maddie. Chelsea's here. Hey, Chelsea, welcome, welcome. Let's let people trickle in a little bit as we go in. We're going to get slowly rolling today. I know people are getting up. We got Mother's Day stuff going on. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there again, and welcome to Mimosas in the Morning. I'm your host, again, Josh Greenwood. If anybody has any fun Mother's Day stuff that they're going on today or doing, shout it out. Tell me what's going on here. Tell me what you guys are doing. Tell me where you're going to brunch. If you're going to brunch, you're making it home. If you have any fun recipes or anything you're going on, or you're doing a Mother's Day dinner, Mother's Day summit home, it's probably a strange year. I remember when I first moved to New York City back, God, what was it? So in 2007, I think it was, I don't know, it was right before I was in the military. So I think it was like the beginning of 2008. And I was working at Red Lobster. Working at Red Lobster in Times Square. If anybody is familiar with the Times Square area, it's a hot mess. It's on, was it 40th or 41st and 7th? Ooh. Hopefully your mom's not, I mean, maybe your mom's watching, but she's probably not. But Bottle of Vouv sounds really nice. Let's get this refreshed. And Mother's Day was one of those ones where it was like insanely busy. I mean, like no joke, like every single person is mandatory to work. Like you weren't allowed to have the day off. Like everyone had to work a shift. And we had like armed police and security guards because it was so busy and everyone was going so crazy for mom. It was nuts. Red Lobsters. You walk by it, you see it's actually 3 stories inside. It's huge and insane. And it was definitely a very strange place to be working during that time. It was yeah. It's like I see those memes when it's like, talk about your time at Red Lobster, and the guy's staring and there's like Vietnam hot choppers and stuff going on. Yeah, that was Red Lobster. It's a huge hot mess. Lots of fun, but total hot mess. Good for your early 20s, not for your late 20s or early 30s. Good. So let's get on going. So we're going to talk about our pandemic product of the week, which is one of my favorite things as we go on. I'm going to take this into a self-defense realm since it's what I do. I do self-defense. I'm a self-defense instructor, martial arts instructor, and coach. So I'm pulling it out here. This is something I carry with me all the time. So we'll look at this. It's just a pen, regular. I'm going to come a little closer. I'm going to show you in here. Just a pen. See? It writes. Everything is normal on here. It actually has a sharp tip on the end. This is for breaking glass. But this is made out of aircraft aluminum. So this is, you want aircraft grade aluminum. It's called a tactical pen. I know people are starting to go out and run more. People are starting to be outside a little bit more, especially with states that are opening up. But something that happens when you have this dynamic of people being available to be going outside and doing stuff, but then you have a lighter population density in where, like, the parks. You're going to go run in a park, maybe you're running in the evening, or maybe you're running at another time, and less people are going to be out there. What's up, Ranger Nate? And this is totally legal. It's a very simple thing you can carry. I believe Sophie was on our first week, who is Maddie's goddaughter, and had a question about carrying a pocket knife. So we're just going to do a little bit of talk when we're in here now, because I'm talking about fitness, health, and fitness and self-defense. So this is my current daily carry piece. It is, I use it for a lot of different stuff. I don't carry it all the time, but Semper Fi, here we go, Ranger Nate. So this is a SOG Tanto Edge blade, just spring-loaded knife. So this versus this. So this is what we're going to talk about here for a moment. Totally different, off topic. It's Mother's Day. I want to talk about safety for a moment. When you're going out and you're working out and you're doing anything, in a lot of states, this is illegal. You cannot use this. This is for opening boxes. This is for me when I take clients out and I need to cut my paracord because I'm putting a line for them to go underneath or in and out. This is also something that I would not recommend using unless you're trained. If you're doing something and it's not something that's going to be effective or smart for you to use. But to all the mothers out there, to everybody else, to anybody here, tactical pen is a very simple thing you can use. Totally legal. You can write with it. This one is not that great writing. I had to fix the inkwell in here. But the thing that's important with this is it's totally legal. It's easy to carry in your hand or have in a shirt pocket. You can have it accessible and easy to pull out and use, but all you have to do is just hold it in your hand. You don't have to have any actual training, and you can attack with hammer fists. You can attack with punches, and it protects your hand if you know how to punch. But the density of this is important enough that it could actually crack bones, soft tissue damage, things in here to protect yourself when you're running. I did a seminar. We worked on a outline of a seminar with a New York running group where a lot of women were getting attacked on their runs. We suggested tactical pens that are light, easy to use, something you can put in your pocket, and then when you're running, or you can have in your hand. Some people had used it, protected and safe. So this is my pandemic product of the week. If you're starting to go out more, you're kind of nervous about being in public, you're nervous about other stuff, it's not going to kill anybody, not going to do anything, but it provides an extra layer of protection towards whatever you got to do. You can get them on Amazon for 10, 15 bucks. You don't have to spend a lot of money on one, really cheap. I would recommend just finding one that's aircraft grade aluminum. That's the important part. Has to be strong, because I mean, if you're hitting somebody in the skull or somewhere else, to protect yourself, this is important. So that's my Josh Greenwood self-defense tip of the week and our pandemic product of the week. We've changed it every week. It's gotten a little different here and there. It is a tactical pen. Again, aircraft grade aluminum. You can write with it. Totally legal. Take it on a plane. Take it wherever you want to go. And you should be fine with this. So that's my pandemic product of the week. Again, for all you guys that are just joining us, welcome to Mimosas in the Morning. I'm Josh Greenwood. I'm your host. Trying to get my little comment section up here ready to go so I can start chatting with you guys. But for some reason, it is not showing up yet. So we'll skip that and we'll just keep talking in here. So I want to give a little shout out to our guest of the week, Alex Lamb. He's going to be joining us here shortly in another 5 or 6 minutes or so. I met Alex a few years ago through my wife Maddie. Maddie works for Modo Yoga NYC. Amazing yoga studio, amazing place. They're doing a lot of good things for the yoga community in New York and their specific community of teachers and students that are coming around. They were one of the first yoga studios in the city to shut down and to protect their students from spread of COVID. They did it a couple of days ahead of time. Actually, I think it did it a week ahead of time from what was actually mandatory. They took it seriously. They went in and made sure that they were very clean and concise and clear with their communication to their students and the communication to the larger community abroad. But I will give a huge props out to them. They definitely were one of the first studios that immediately after the shutdown happened, they had a huge online presence. Their online presence immediately kicked up. They had classes all day, every day. They didn't start with 1 or 2 or 3 classes a day. They have a full schedule now. They have an entire schedule almost every hour. I'll ask Alex when he gets on, but I believe they have a class every single hour, all day, almost every day. They have YouTube portal that you can go to watch pre-recorded classes. You can watch them anytime you want on demand for a small price. And they also have, which I love, is they have free classes on Instagram Live almost every other hour all day. I was just watching with Lawrence a little bit ago. Shout out to Lawrence and the Modo NYC crew. Once I can get my comment wall up here going so I can start to comment on things, I will post all the information up as it's going in. For some reason, I can't get my live up, but it's not that important. So, I'm going to welcome on Alex. He's going to join here in a moment. He's going to send me a request here in a moment. And we're going to get this starting to kick off now, once I can get this going. And we're going to start talking about all things health and fitness. So this Health and Fitness and Safety Week as we're going on here for Mimosas in the Morning week 4 as we're going in. Actually, I think it's week 3, right? And everything we're going to talk about now is going to be related to health and fitness. We're going to have new questions about anything you want to throw it out there. Ask questions, health and fitness. We'll talk about anything from martial arts. We're going to talk about the yoga scene in New York and the yoga scene abroad, how things are going to change because of the pandemic, and have everything definitely be a little open to interpretation to what fitness is when we're talking about fitness in the physical sense or fitness in your mental or spiritual sense. So I'm going to have Alex on here. He's going to join on. Boom. And we're going to give a nice little round of applause. Hopefully our feed, everything works well.
Well, hello there. How are you, sir?
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Hanging in there, you know.
I know, it's always stressful a little bit doing things. Let me get my work. Oh no.
Camera down. This is
Work
actually
out
my
the best.
first Instagram Live of quarantine, so thank you
Oh,
for allowing me to join your little chat show here.
oh, absolutely. I love it. It's nice to have friends on and people that we can talk to. Ah, there
Totally.
we go. Good. We're not cut off now. You can. I'm in a different room. I'm normally doing it in the living room. We got like a fireplace and it's kind of like cozy, except that now I'm doing it in the sunroom because it's better light. But I noticed you can see like a lot more gray when I'm doing it.
I
So,
was actually going to say that your haircut looks pretty fresh. I'm rocking this fluffy 2 month in, no clippers have touched the head look. So,
well, you don't want to see the backside of it because Maddie got me a really good trimmer. Has all these things. So I did my beard today, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna line it up. I got my patches of stuff in here, but they have like a
nice.
section where you can do the side of your head. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna trim here and I'm gonna trim here, and then I was like, I can't see anything behind that, so I just stopped. So we're not gonna trim the back of
You're just getting your mullet ready for the summer.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
getting forward. I'm gonna let this keep growing. Have some business in the front for you guys and party in the back as we go in. Oh man.
I love it. Cheers, by the way.
Cheers. Cheers,
Happy Mother's
mimosas.
Day. I believe my mother is here. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. You're saving me a call.
Give a shout out. You want to take a second to give a shout out to all the mothers out there?
So many mothers to say hello to. So many mothers in my life. My husband's got a mom and a stepmom. I've got a mom and a stepmom. My sister's a mother. So many mothers out there, and I love them all.
All the moms.
All the
I always
moms.
forget. I always think of that like Maddie hates when we talk about it. Chelsea's on here. She's one of my friends. She probably likes it. Put the John Mayer song. Oh no, does he do a song
Isn't
called
that
Mothers?
fathers? That's
Fathers,
fathers, I think.
mothers, daughters.
I think that's
Already
fathers and
halfway on the
daughters,
most. That's
but
good. So
that's
I think
okay.
it is
I'll
daughters. Yeah,
I'll get there
mothers
soon.
do good to your daughters. That's what it is.
There we go.
So yeah, well, yeah, thanks for coming on the show.
My
Thanks for
pleasure.
joining us. We are talking, just to remind our guests, we are talking all things health and fitness. I do have some surprise questions for you, so we
Oh
prepped for
wow.
stuff
Okay.
to keep it lively. I got a little I got my computer and I got my comment wall so I can type things in, but for some
Okay.
reason this week's not working, so I'm gonna have to try and get that fixed. But anyway, so I always do a couple things every week, so we can give you a shout out. I do pandemic product of the week for me. I just did a little shout out for tactical pens if you guys saw
Yeah. I need a knife. I don't have a good knife, so maybe
it.
you're gonna have to recommend one for me.
Honestly, like I love sharp pointy objects, so like you need a knife recommendation, I got all the things.
You're my guy.
I can just ship you one, and you could have one of my good ones.
All right.
Um, no,
I don't
honestly,
know that I trust myself with it, honestly. It would be a danger to both
you're just like,
myself and society at large.
I mean, look, if you can cook and you can like julienne a vegetable, like you're fine.
All right. Yeah, I've julienned a vegetable and my finger occasionally from time to time, so I
That's true. I
got
always get it on the nail, like a part of my nail comes off, and I'm always like, oh, it's the worst. But
yeah. I loved your Red Lobster shout out, by the way, as a fellow veteran of a large touristic New York City restaurant.
where did
Sarah
you?
Beth. Sarah Beth's
Oh,
on
oh
Central Park
yeah.
South.
Oh my God,
Oh
Mother's
yeah.
Day there is probably insane.
It was like the Super Bowl of brunches. So fun.
Man, that's crazy. That's crazy. I went there a couple times for their what they do tea, like a high noon tea, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was maybe I saw you. I went there at Central Park South,
Central Park South.
maybe.
40 CPS.
Yeah,
Five long years.
I probably did see you there at some point. I went a
Oh
couple
yeah.
times. My ex was really into Sarah Beth's, and I was like,
Yeah, I was the tall one running around trying not to cry all the time. Brunch is a high stress environment, you know?
it is.
Yeah.
Especially like I've never worked at a brunch where they have bottomless. I've only
I
worked
could never.
I'm needy enough in my bottomless at brunch, and I try to be like, this is why I drink out of a pint glass. My third Ave, I'm gonna give a shout out, Third Ave Ale House, favorite brunch, so good. There's really breakfast with a side of bacon. It's amazing. Chloe's the best bartender. Sunday fun day with Chloe, but she knows I do pint glasses of mimosas because just a flute gone way too fast. And then I
Oh
don't
yeah.
want to be that guy that's like, I need another one. So I'm like, just give me like 4, put them in a pint glass, and then you don't have to talk to me for 40 minutes, and then we're fine and it's good.
I just need a pitcher and a straw, and then I'm good to go. Yeah.
No, it's honestly, it's like I don't know if I would handle that. I got to give props to all the industry vets out there. doing the bottomless brunches.
Yeah, they're actually all getting a well-deserved break this Mother's Day, I guess. I don't know if that's a good thing. Maybe that's
If they're getting unemployment, maybe it's a good thing. But if they're not,
there we go. Yeah,
I mean,
fair
that's a
enough.
whole other mess with unemployment and trying to get on that stuff anyway. Time, but it happens. I guess I don't know. So I do want to start with, so if you have, so we're talking about pandemic product of the week. Is there anything that's getting you through the pandemic? Are there things you're using every day? There's something that you're like, I cannot live without during the pandemic.
I'm taking this 2-month long opportunity of not seeing a lot of people face to face to work on the skin. You can't tell because my lighting's not very good, but I've never really been that into skincare. I've never had like a skincare regime or anything. But I figured, there's not much else to do all day, so I might as well start to take even better care of myself than I already try and start to. So there is this woman that I actually met through a student at Modo. I was getting a massage, and she was another client of his, and we just got to chatting at his place after my appointment was over, and she said, "Oh, I have my own skin." Thank you, Maddie. I try to glow.
Yes.
She was like, "I have my own skincare line. It's all natural products." She used to be I think she was a physicist or something, and then she got really into
Wow.
chemistry. Yeah, and so she started making her own skincare in her home. It's called Surreal Skincare. At Surreal Skincare on Instagram. Her name's Morgan. She's the best. Website is surrealskincare.com. All natural products, all homemade. She ships internationally. But my favorite is this thing called Cool Napalm. It's a really intense mask. You put it on, it looks like you're covering your face in blood. Burns so good for about 20 minutes, and then you're glowing like for the rest of the day for 2 weeks at a time.
Yes.
Yeah, the whole line is great, but I figure even if we're going to have to cover our face with masks for the the next little while,
For
the
who
part that
knows how
shows,
long?
yeah, the part that shows might as well look great.
I agree. I mean, I have for years with skincare had a lot of problems myself personally. I mean, for those of you that are just tuning in or knowing, I have awful skin and it gets destroyed during jiu-jitsu and boxing and Muay Thai and all that stuff. Like imagine like sandpaper just constantly grating down your face. So I too have taken some time during this time. I'm like, I'm gonna moisturize after my shower now. I basically just use all of Maddie's products that she has, which tell my wife she has flawless skin. So it's like
She
it's
does have
good.
really like porcelain incredible skin, I will
She
say.
does. She like
Skincare goals.
yeah.
And for
She
a
lets
hot
go.
yoga teacher especially, because I mean you're in and out of that room all day, every day, sweating, not always showering in between your 3 classes that day, and it's not like the best thing for your skin. So I'm always impressed when people in the fitness industry are able to maintain
Yeah.
uh, that natural glow.
You know what I wonder too in the fitness industry too as well. If we're generally are we eating a little bit better because we're health conscious? Are we because we're working out? We're releasing certain endorphins that make your skin a little fresh or lively. I mean, I feel like that could be a thing. Generally overall, but we're probably
Yeah.
not all eating McDonald's and stuff all the time. I mean, like
I mean, everything in moderation.
a little bit here and there. I love eggs and muffins. Don't like I'll get a double egg with muffin, 2 hash browns, and an OJ when we're on a road trip. Like,
I'm a
yeah.
classic cheeseburger from McDonald's. Just those
Yeah.
the minced onions. I don't know what about those things get me, but that's just if McDonald's could just sell that in bulk, I would buy it.
Oh, interesting.
1,000%.
I wonder if they do. I bet you in some place you could be like, I want a side of blah blah blah, all this stuff, and that would be like they would just give it to you.
I can't actually tell you the last time I went to McDonald's, but I'm sure an evening of debauchery has led me there deep in the night. Yeah.
There used to be a bar on 47th and 9th called the Blarney, and it was a hot mess. And there's like 10.
I mean, any bar in Hell's Kitchen is generally hot.
It was the nobody was actually 21 yet, so you get there at 8, and they don't put the bouncer out till 10 and let everyone. It was that kind of place. but there's a McDonald's 1 block down over the corner, and you notice at 4 a.m. when everything closes, everyone is over at McDonald's. Like the whole bar just shifts and starts to get there. They get
the after party.
Oh, here we go.
Are we commenting up? Maddie, I wonder what kind of mask Maddie is up to. She's masking,
Yeah,
she says.
She always does. She has the best stuff. I mean, like, I'm not even joking. Like, she has this, like, rose water spray. She has all these things that are, oh, here we go. Now I got it. Now I can comment. Alrighty, so. You see it now. Mimosas in the morning, I'll start commenting. Now you can start getting all the information that we've been talking about. It's going to get posted up on it as we go in here. Yeah, if you guys have anybody out there, if you have really good facial products, anything for skincare, stuff like that, there you go.
Origins, for sure. They have this, something called Origins has this product called the Buffet. It's like, I don't know, these little droppers put on your face, so good. And then they also have this weird, anything that makes my skin burn and then look good afterwards, I'm all about. Like if I put it on and it's got that tingle that you're like, is this what it's supposed to feel like?
Yep. Yeah. So I like that, like peppermint, like spearmint, where it like really opens up, but you like you can't get it in your, like we have a body wash that's peppermint, and it's just like if you put it in certain areas though, it's just like too much burning.
Yeah, I've got some stories that probably aren't appropriate for Mother's Day on Mimosa in the morning about.
That's true. We'll do Mimosas after dark.
I'll leave it there. There we go. Yes.
I've been thinking about doing a second episode every week, so maybe like on a weeknight at like 8 or 9 p.m. we'll do Mimosas after dark.
The after show.
Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like the MITM. It's Mimosas in the morning, but I feel like it's very like ANTM, like America's Next Top Model. It was kind of like, I feel like it like vibes well. We're just like,
it's nice for you. Yeah.
So I'm gonna keep on going on. We're gonna shoot on down this stuff.
Keep on keeping on.
So I wanted to ask you, because this is something that's come up for me, and I'm awful with putting together playlists. Most of the time, I'm just like Spotify, go. Maddie has like I think 90 playlists, and she has one for every single class she's like ever taught, and she's organized with it. She's got all this stuff. But what do you like to work out to? Or are you jamming to some artists that you can't get enough of? Let us know, like, who are you listening to right now, or like who's your go-to, or any special playlists on Spotify?
Totally. For fitness related stuff, and especially yoga, Maddie's are great. To plug another Modo person, Chandler from Modo Yoga LA, at Chandler Farron on Instagram and on Spotify. Incredible playlists, really dynamic, kind of take you on a journey as you listen and as you practice. So I'd highly recommend hers. I actually took on a project at the very beginning of the quarantine because I was feeling pretty down. You know, and the music is something that kind of lifts you up. And I tend to listen to, you know, I get a little deep in my feelings with my Lana Del Rey and my this and that. Yeah, you gotta. And so I was like, you know what I need to do? Although I will say, Lana Del Rey's last album is like the ultimate melancholy Americana album. So great. But I was like, I got to do something to boost my mood, get my mood up. So I went back and just like any song that I've ever liked from my teenage years on that is like upbeat and good to work out to. I just like, it's 17 hours long. You just put it on shuffle, wander around all day, and it's just like upbeat, vibrant, good moods. And when you do a deep dive like that, you forget like all those weird songs in the late 90s, mid 2000s. Just like what a weird time it was for music. So fun. So if you have a good 3 hours, because you'll start and you'll just be like, okay, yeah, I got this. And the more you go, the deeper, the more things like start to pop into your brain. You're like, oh my God, what was the name of that song? And so Spotify is actually good for that because you can search other playlists by like decade and you just go through and just be like, wow. But I was a little late to the game on this, but Dua Lipa's new album is actually really upbeat, really fun.
So good.
All the other gays were on it probably a month before I was, and then as soon as like the fifth friend recommended it to me, I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And so that is my current jam, top to bottom. Every song's a bop. I love it.
So good, so good.
So good. And then there's a
fitness. What's the song? Is it called
Physical. Physical is such a bop.
Yes.
Oh my God,
So
so
good,
good.
so good.
What else do I like to work out to? This is kind of weird, but you know Kim Petras, right?
I'm not familiar. No.
No? Okay, so she is a pop singer. She is a German, she's must be in her mid-20s right now, but she's like one of the first trans pop artists. Super popular, so fun. She's incredible. She put out an album that was like Halloween themed a couple years ago.
That's cool.
Oh my God, but it is like it's just kind of like spooky, upbeat, like dancey, clubby pop music, but it's perfect for a workout, start to finish, especially if you're, you know, a horror junkie or like a Halloween person, like I tend to be.
Okay.
Um, that's a great album. And then there's a band called Drama that I really like. Drama, all capital letters. They just put out a new album, and there's a song on there called "Forever in a Day."
Okay.
Total jam. It's
Love it.
my
Love it.
it's my thing that I'm into. Uh, Yeah, that's anything upbeat, anything that gets your
Yeah.
blood pumping and gets you out of your Lana Del Rey mindset.
I know. I feel like in this time frame, it's so easy to like sink in. You're like, I'm just gonna lean into the depressing and just like kind of like feel the feels, and all of a sudden, like I'll be in the
Yeah,
car and I'll have my liked songs on Spotify going through shuffle, and for me, it's like Sam Smith. Sam Smith comes on, and I'm like driving them, just like
so in your feelings.
I'm just singing, and then people are looking at me while they're driving, and I'm like, whoa, slow your roll. We're fine here. We're doing what you want.
That I'm not a good driver, as anyone that knows me can attest to. I currently do not have a driver's license because when I moved to New York, I let it expire because I'm like, well, I hope this means I never have to drive again. But the one thing, literally the only thing I miss about driving is the isolation of being in the car and having that be like your private personal recording studio.
Yep.
You can just belt it out, sing as loud as you want. I've probably gotten about 5 different car accidents just changing the music, which is why I shouldn't be on the road.
You're like, nope. We gotta get you one of those the voice commands. You can try and be like, Siri, play blah 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 blah, and it'll just like come on. That's what
My
you gotta
mom,
have.
my mom is still watching and can attest to that. That Lady Gaga is responsible for at least 5 of my car accidents.
I mean, legally, you might be able to like
I'm gonna
do
sue.
something about it. Be like,
Yeah,
I
it's not my fault. You gotta call up Stephanie
doesn't
Joanne
want to bang us.
Germanata.
All of a sudden, you're just like, I can't stop listening. I need to get more. And you're like, I got in a car accident, so it
Yeah.
happens. So, what do you right now on that fitness talk life? Are you following anybody in particular? What do you like? How do you get your workout on? Are you working out? Like, what's going on with like everyone's at home? Like, I'm not working out as much as I used to at any like not even close. But there are some people on Instagram I do follow and I like their workouts. I see things that go on. Is there anybody that we should be checking out or looking out for?
Totally. At the beginning of all this, I definitely was not working out as much as I normally do. I really, really miss the hot room more than anything.
Oh my god, yeah, yeah.
And just the energy of the yoga studio and of being in that room with, well, what used to be 60, but certainly won't be that anymore. But like, 60 people moving and breathing together. So I think there was a little time where my brain was sort of processing that wasn't going to be an option for the next little while. So I took a break from the yoga, but I tried to get back into running for a second, and then I dove a little too deep, a little too fast, and injured my Achilles. So I'm kind of giving that a rest. Yeah, not great.
That's not a fun injury, and then it's just like,
Not a, no, it wasn't. It's not too bad. It's definitely with time getting
yeah.
back to where it needs to be. But over the last few weeks, I've kind of explored the Instagram workouts map. There are some really good people out there. Keone Adoba, he's like one of the founders of Barry's Boot Camp, I think,
Okay.
or he's like one of their master trainers. He does daily workouts on his Instagram. They're like 20 to 30 minutes. They're really incredible from his apartment in New York. Most don't require much
I might spell
equipment.
that wrong, but let's see.
Uh, it's you got the first name. The last name starts with an H. Hudoba.
Oh, K-O-N-I. H.
Yeah.
Spell it for me again.
It's Keonihudoba.
Oh,
Uh, they're definitely challenging, super hard, but they'll get you sweating, get you burning the next day for sure. Of course, Modo Yoga NYC,
not
all day,
bad.
every day, as you said. Lots of different stuff on there, meditations, various classes. We have, I think, 3 to 5 classes on Instagram every day, completely for free. And then we have on-demand classes through our website, and we also have live classes over YouTube that stream every day. You can just go through our normal booking platform and sends you a little link. It's been such a gift to be able to connect to people from our community virtually and still practice with them. It's been really cool to kind of get to see into their homes. Like you said, you were watching Lawrence
Yeah,
earlier.
yeah, yeah.
I think Lawrence Riley has been one of the highlights of my quarantine,
Oh
just
my God, I love
watching him. And
Lawrence.
he does these little like pre-shows. Back when he first started doing the Instagram classes, he would like get on his own Instagram for a few seconds or a few minutes just to like test out his camera or whatever. He needs he should be your next guest. That man is born for the camera. I've also been trying to, because we do those core flow classes at Modo, so I've been looking for a little more Pilates based training and inspiration for those classes, because our core flow classes try and mix Pilates and yoga together to form a really cool sort of hybrid class. So there's a guy named Gregory Lewis. He's a New York based Pilates teacher. His Instagram is GL Contrology. He also does live classes every day through Instagram. Really fun, dynamic, challenging. And then what else? Oh, yeah, I've been trying to expand my workout repertoire and try different things like a little bit of MMA and
Yeah,
some boxing stuff. So I actually jumped on board the Chris Hemsworth workout app bandwagon. Center,
those
it's
things.
Center, but without the E, S or CENTR. It's actually really fun. A lot of stuff you can do without equipment at home. It was better when I had access to a gym, but it's been a good way to just to try things that I definitely normally wouldn't try. And they're still pretty accessible. There's different levels, different tiers of like expertise and how new
Yeah.
to those sorts of things you are.
I mean, I love
And
Chris
I'm
Hemsworth. I'll
a
do what,
Hemsworth fan, yeah.
yeah,
So
like
there we go.
whatever Thor wants us to do, like I'll do it. It's good.
Who doesn't want to look like Thor, you know?
I mean, no joke. I just watched his recent movie, the new one is Extraction.
I
On
haven't
Netflix.
watched it yet. Is it good?
Honestly, I loved it. It's not plot heavy. It's the director, I believe Sam. I'll have to look it up. I can't remember the director's name, but the director is the stunt coordinator from the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Okay, cool.
Really, really good. I mean, the stunts were amazing. The fight scenes were amazing. It was one long Chris Hemsworth just
Kicking
stunts. It
ass.
was amazing. Like it was like if you like action or like stuff like that. It's got a little bit of a plot line, not super crazy, but it's you're not getting like like an Oscar worthy stuff on it. But
Right.
being a fighter, the fighting
Honestly,
and everything's
right
great.
now, I don't need that much plot. I just need something that's going to be diverting for 2 hours. And Natalie Gershon says she saw it. It was not bad, which from
Yeah.
Natalie is pretty high praise.
I get 2 thumbs up, but yeah.
Not
Like,
bad is basically a rave.
Maddie's like, I'm not like, it's not Frasier. It's not like, or anything. My wife, she loves her Frasier, but
She does.
it's still good. I liked it. It was fun. I like fun things that can like take me away. Like if like what I read almost solely dystopian future zombie like shoot 'em up epic like kind of books and series. So it's like I want something to transport me away from whatever is going on in the world. I don't need to read heavy stuff
Yep.
right now.
I'm in the same camp. I'm like, I am a horror junkie. I love horror movies and horror films, and my husband does not. So we kind of
We'll
have
go watch a horror movie together, and then me and
exactly.
Maddie can go watch like the rom-com next door because she's not a horror person at all either.
I just find it that there's something about it that is so out of reality and out of like what normal life is, that it's something I can totally tune into and focus on and be distracted and not thinking consciously at the back of my head or subconsciously about all the other things that are happening in the world, because
True.
it's so wild and so out there. So
Oh yeah,
that's my
I feel it. I mean,
spiel.
going on horror movies and Chris Hemsworth. What is the uh Cabin in the Woods? It's a Josh
Yes,
movie.
it's on Hulu right now. I just rewatched
So
it a
good.
few
Yeah,
weeks ago.
if you haven't watched it, Alex and I are definitely giving it 2 thumbs up. It is an
Highly recommend.
awesome horror, like very good in that genre, like flick. Chris
Not what
Hemsworth,
you expected it to be though. It's it kind of pulls a fast one on you in the best way.
definitely, it's a good one. I've
And
seen it like 3 or 4 times. So good. So this is gonna come bring us
a
into
Sigourney
tomorrow.
Weaver cameo, so good.
I know. Sigourney Weaver is just like queen. Like she's amazing. Like I watched Ghostbusters like a month and a half ago or so, and it's just like
Oh,
always epic. So like all those movies so good. Like so
yeah,
I'm gonna go into a little secret round that I have for you as a rapid fire round.
ooh,
So I've
excited.
got a couple questions we're just gonna ask, and it's like, what's your favorite this or that going down? And we're both just gonna throw our things out. It might take a second to stop and talk about them before we get into like our heavy last questions going in. But I'm just gonna shoot these out there. What is your Alex's? I want to know your favorite artist.
Uh, hmm.
Like if you're on a desert island, you got one person to listen to, and that's it.
Oh, musical artist. Okay, I was like
Yeah,
Marcel
yeah.
Duchamp.
No. Not that classy on Mimosas in the morning. That one. Like Dr. Seuss. No.
I would say Jenny Lewis, if that could be including her years with Rilo Kiley. It's a band from the late 90s, early 2000s, and then Jenny Lewis up till today. Also been doing stuff on Instagram Live. If you don't follow Jenny Lewis on Instagram, every once in a while she'll do like a little mini concert and then she interviews somebody. She did a home bang cut the other day. Hilarious.
Yeah.
Jenny
Like
Lewis,
imagine
she's
it
the
come
best.
here. We'll see what happens.
She was also in the Postal Service.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's like the keyboardist and backup singer in the Postal
Oh, that's
Service.
interesting. Okay,
She's
I
the
didn't know
best.
that. Well, I
Mhm.
love that. What is your favorite movie?
The Color Purple is my favorite movie.
Oh, interesting. There you
Favorite
go.
movie, favorite book. I saw it when I was probably way too young to watch it. I was probably like 10 or so.
Yeah.
And immediately fell in love with Whoopi Goldberg. Immediately went and read all the Alice Walker I could get my hands on. I just think that it's a heavy story for sure, but any film or piece of art that is about the triumph of the human spirit, you gotta love it,
2 thumbs up on that.
2 thumbs up.
All right, so what are we going? So this is then I was gonna ask the next one, which might be the same or maybe not. Favorite musical.
Favorite musical. Oh God, that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Um,
I have a very strange favorite musical. People like you either know it and you love it, or you're like, I have no idea what this is. But
what is
I'm
it?
a huge fan. My favorite musical, hands down, Parade.
Praise great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my favorite musical. Jason Robert Brown, I think, is an amazing composer and lyricist. Everything he does is just like gold.
Oh,
But
I
it's
know.
like, oh, so every time just takes you the whole range of emotions and feels, and at the end
So
you're just
good.
like, and then to notice that that's actually a real story. It's like what actually happened to these people is actually real. It's just like it's insane. It's crazy. That's for me. That's
No,
my
I mean Jason Robert Brown's incredible. Last 5 years, so good. Songs for a New World,
songs for a new
great.
world.
Love,
But
love.
he did Tick Tick Boom as well, right?
He did Tick Tick Boom, yeah.
13. I think
Um,
it was just the kids in it.
I didn't see that, but that is what launched Ariana Grande to the world. So
Yeah,
I
she's in
need
LA.
to.
It came out when I was at AMDA in LA. We were gonna go see it and I had tickets to it, and I think I ended up going to a house party instead.
It's all
So
right.
missed out on that one.
Favorite musical. I mean, if I want to be cliche and if I want to tell you like what got me in, oh, that is true. Jonathan Larson wrote Tick Tick Boom.
Ooh. He
Uh,
knows I'm Ben on it. Sean right now. So hey Sean, I'm Ben's right now.
uh, all my musical theater friends would read me to filth for this, but I'm gonna have to say that it's Phantom.
Ooh.
I love Phantom of the Opera. What can I say? I'm an unapologetic Andrew Lloyd Webber person, and take it or
I
leave
mean,
it.
Phantom is just timeless. I mean, it was the first musical I ever saw that like live at an actual theater. I saw it at the
See,
in LA.
shock.
There you go. Yeah,
Um,
throw out your favorite musical. You got a musical, movie, favorite artist. Throw it up on the comment screen. Would love to see what people are listening to or like to see. You got a Wicked fan. Was that your mom?
it's my mom.
Wicked was one of my
Apparently, we're
New
super
York
basic.
Broadway musicals.
Wicked and Phantom.
Yeah. Yeah, there is. Yep, Sean, there is a reason it's the longest running show. I mean, it's pretty epic. When you get to the masquerade portion and
Oh,
everybody says, masquerade, da, 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 and it's just like, it hits when this, it's a phenomenal show.
it was also the first musical I saw on Broadway for real, and it just the stagecraft, like it's so simple, but it's so cool, and
Amazing.
I don't know, it fits into that like my love of horror music or
Yeah.
horror. The first
Yeah.
musical I ever saw that was Cats, and I recently made Guillaume watch the Cats movie because I was just so curious, and I think that was one of the scariest movies I've seen in a long, long time.
Were
I
you
know
part
that
of
that's
the group that was like glad they got rid of the buttholes, or were like they should put the buttholes back on the cats? I remember that was like a thing for a second. Everyone was freaked out to like, no, they can't.
I
I
honestly
didn't
don't know
see
that
it,
it would
so
make it any more or less disturbing. I think the whole thing was pretty shocking. Um, just the fact that anyone thought it was going to be the minute that they announced they're making it into a movie, I was like, oh, that's not a good choice. It's not. There's no way. There's just no way. There's no plot. And if you want to watch a movie version of Cats, go back and watch the one that they did in the 90s on VHS. It's great. It still holds up.
interesting.
It's
I
like
mean,
this.
I
They
definitely. You go.
No, it's just like a filmed version of the stage show, but that's all you need. But then this one
Yeah.
was
I mean, I was definitely Maddie will kill me for this. I mean, she was like not about it. She's like Maddie doesn't like costume character what do they call them? Um, like the characters you see at like football games where they're like wear the big old
mascots.
mascot. Hates mascots.
Hmm.
Hates them. So she's like, this is basically just a movie of mascots. It's all like humans being something else they're not supposed to be. I was actually amped for it. I never actually saw it because the reviews were so bad. But I love Les Twins, the brothers, these twins
Yeah.
that are dancers. They are so ridiculously good that I was like, okay, I will see anything that they're in because it's just the everything they do and they dance, their movement is gold. But it's like, yeah,
Yeah, they were wearing like high top Converse as cats in the movie. It was every choice in that movie. It was just like, what choice can we make that would be the worst choice? And then let's make it. And how can we make it then worse than that?
yeah. How do they do the feet then? If they're like not cat feet, did they CGI cat feet on everybody or?
No, 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 no. They're human feet.
That's
It's choices for sure.
yeah, that's like no. Well, all right. Let's keep going to this. Favorite food. We're gonna get into food.
Eggplant, favorite food, hands down.
Eggplant.
Any way you want to
Aubergine.
make it for me, aubergine, eggplant parmesan, eggplant stir fry. You give me some baba ganoush, I'm set for life.
That's good. Well, okay, so what is your favorite vacation destination?
Oh, tough one.
I feel like you've been some really cool places. So
Yeah. I was just talking about this the other day with Guillaume about what's the first place we want to go after all this is said and done. I would really love to go back to Kenya again someday. We were there around this time last year, and it's just the most stunning place on the face of the planet.
yeah, how's in Kenya? Is it more like plains, or is Kenya more has it like a mountainous region and like jungle region? Or
It's got a little bit of everything. So we go to this area called the Masai Mara. We work with a foundation called Masai Wilderness Conservation Trust, and they have an organization and like a little kind of encampment there that they help to protect the land there and also work with the Maasai tribe to work on sustainable ways of living for their people. And so that area is like the first time we went, I was expecting sort of like dry, sort of like Lion King-esque, whatever. But it was beautiful, rolling, grassy hills, mountains, and then when you, not
Wow.
mountains, but like big, big hills. And then when you climb up into the hills, there's like cloud forests. So it's like you're in a
Wow.
jungle all of a sudden. Once you're on the Indian Ocean, it's gorgeous beaches. It's
That's
it's
nice.
an incredible place.
Well, I remember you guys did at Moto. We did with Dina from Montreal. She was in, and we did the Maasai Warrior Flow class to raise money for the Maasai Warrior tribe. And they had a couple runners in the New York Marathon. I think it was 2 years ago, I think now.
Yeah, they come every year. A couple of the Maasai warriors come and run the marathon, and we have a benefit class for the Maasai Wilderness Conservation Trust. Um, it's just the people are so warm and hospitable, and it's just so interesting to see the way they live and engage with their surroundings.
Well, I love that Moto too. I mean, it's one of those things that you guys have. Correct me if I'm wrong. You guys do like different local charities of the month, and you guys like take in money in your karma classes to donate to local things. But you also have a big, besides this, you have a big connection with Jungle Keepers down in South America. You guys do your monthly challenges and donate to that as well. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, Dina started the, or I could be wrong, started the Jungle Keepers initiative down. Is it in Peru?
It's in Peru,
Yeah.
yeah, in the Madre de Dios region of Peru, along the Las Piedras River. We went down there, God, this must be 5 years ago now, and that is where I actually first met Dina Chilhouse, who's the owner of Modo Yoga Montreal and one of the founders of Jungle Keepers. We went on a retreat down there together, and with Rebecca Foon, who's one of the owners of New York, and also Guillaume, and they had been the year before. I think Guillaume's been there like 5 times. I've been down there 3 times now. Dina was just so inspired by the Amazon rainforest and just the natural beauty of it, and so kind of struck by how quickly it's being destroyed that she immediately kind of made this whole life shift from being a yoga studio owner to being a conservationist. She spends most of her time down in Peru now, working with the organization they started, Jungle Keepers, that fundraises, and it's an NGO, Peruvian-based NGO now, fundraises to buy what is called land concessions. So all the land is owned by the government technically, and then they give these concessions to people that pay for them for various things. So we buy these concessions along the river to help stop logging and people going up the river to chop down trees. And now they have this whole ranger program where Dina has local people that she supports and trains go out and make sure that there's no poaching, no logging. They track the animal life. And they actually had a Maasai warrior. They did a ranger exchange from the Maasai community
Wow.
and the Peruvian community, and they sent them to the opposite countries to sort of see what they could learn from one another. It's such an incredible program. So
That's
cool.
awesome. That sounds amazing. And it's great that Moto has the opportunity in New York to support these different international communities that are, keeping fresh air for us to breathe, keeping land for animals, and keeping just like not letting the humanity overtake all these natural things of the earth. Is just
Yeah, I mean, I
given
think
to
you
us.
have to live your yoga in every way, you know? It can't just be I mean, it can, but I think your asana practice, what you're doing every day on your mat, should inform every element in every area of your life. So, if you want to treat yourself well and be well, you also have to give back to the planet and keep it well.
Yeah.
And it's one of the big things that kind of drew me to the Moto community in the first place was their ecological point of view,
Yeah.
and all of the incredible work that they do to help support the environment.
Yeah. I mean, so I got one last thing I wanted to kind of talk to you about is before we get cut off by Instagram Live, because I think you
I
only
know,
have
I'm
half an
sorry
hour.
I talk too much.
No, I literally, this show could be 3 hours long, because like we could just chit chat the whole time. If Instagram Live would let us go for more than an hour, I would just keep going forever. But I did want to talk to you about, so as an integral part, you're a teacher at Modo. You've been on the management side of this. You're running things. You check stuff. Your husband is one of the owners, along with Guillaume, Rebecca Foon, and Sarah Neufeld, all running the school or running the studio. And now that we're in this like COVID-19 pandemic, things are happening. Everybody's shut down. We have to have social distancing. You know, we're in a hot room at Modo. We're sweating. Things are happening. I know we can only be extremely clean as possible, but like for me in martial arts, like we have to touch people. Modo at least is more of an individual practice, even though you are a community. What do you see as changes in the fitness and health and fitness industry going forward after we start to slowly open up? Like should we expect to see and what could happen?
Yeah, I've been inspired by how quickly, not just us as a business, but our community as a whole has been ready, willing, and able to transition to an online platform. And I don't see that ending as soon as this is all over. I think that it's sort of an interesting area that we hadn't explored yet of how we can take our community beyond just, the 60 people or so that can be in the hot room at a time. So I think that that will definitely continue. In terms of being in the physical space, it's going to be a tough transition. That is for certain. It's going to be reduced capacities, probably altered class schedules. None of these things have been figured out for sure, just because, in the United States, not anything really, especially in New York. It's a slow day by day process. Yeah, it'll look different. I would imagine that there will be masks involved, and people will be much more widely spaced apart. And we'd always encourage you to maybe bring your things from home rather than renting things from the studio. We'll keep up the sanitation practices that we had in place beforehand. Um, but I think that also something I want to emphasize is that we're always open to feedback and suggestions from our community. And we're definitely looking for input from anybody and everybody that has ideas or thoughts about ways that we can make a return to our way of doing things as safe and enjoyable for
Yeah,
everybody as possible.
it's true. I mean, we had a previous guest on last week, Elise Holman. We were talking about the restaurant industry, how it's going to change. You know, bartenders and servers wearing masks and gloving up and doing things. And if you think about the yoga world, or I do jujitsu, these other things, but yoga specifically, is this the end of hands-on adjustments? Is this the time where you really have to start to think about like how much are we interacting with the students physically versus like being able to talk to people? I just got a 2-minute warning from Instagram, but I do want to say before we finish, I really want to thank you for coming on the show today. I want to say thank you to Modo Yoga NYC for being such a pillar in the yoga community in New York and abroad, and providing a safe space for people to practice at home during this pandemic. At Modo Yoga NYC, they have 5-6 classes a day for free on Instagram. You can go to their webpage, sign up for their online subscription service, and you can watch on YouTube live. You can watch YouTube videos that they've saved, so you can practice at any time of the day you want. Your favorite teachers will be on there. Lawrence just joined. We were talking about you earlier. Shout out to Lawrence. Watch your
Lawrence
class.
Riley.
Yes, Lawrence. And I just want to thank everybody for tuning in today to Mimosas in the Morning. We had a brilliant idea today. Maybe we're going to do Mimosas After Dark, start that up as a weekly show. But this video I've finally figured out how to save Instagram videos. So this video will finally be on Instagram on @Mimosas in the Morning and @JGreenwood NYC. I'll share it with Alex. We can share it on our different platforms, and on JGreenwood NYC on YouTube. It will be up and ready for you guys to view. So thank you so much, Alex. Thank you for joining us today. So
Cheers, thank you.
I gotta get a new one, but cheers as well. And we will see everybody next week at 12 noon with a brand new guest that we're gonna announce secretly on Wednesday. So namaste. Thank you so much, Alex. Really good to see you, and have a good rest of your time today. Bye.
Thank you.